Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Monster Legends live stream. Today I wanted to primarily focus on the newest Nemesis monsters, or I guess it's one monster but three different versions of her. The newest Nemesis monster, General Darmus's Nemesis, Lucifire the, and then it depends on her element, Lifemelter, Hopefreezer, Helltaser. Basically, if you guys saw my analysis, you guys already know most of my thoughts on what I think about these monsters. But I just wanted to go more in depth on it in this live stream. You guys can ask me whatever questions you want on the Discord or on the YouTube chat. Originally, I had thought about doing a Discord Q&A, but I was kind of worried that people would come on live and just bash on Social Point, which is the least that I want to happen. I absolutely do not want that to happen. Instead, I want to make this an informative video where if you are considering purchasing one, I want to help you out. I want to give you guys my thoughts on who I think is the best. If something was to change, for example, if the water one was to change into water one, if the thunder one was to change into thunder element, I want to give you guys my thoughts on who's the overall better purchase, just in case that was to happen. And I have the wiki open right now too. Let me close that for now. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna wait for a few more people to show up. In the meantime, let me just do my attacks on this new player versus player mode, which I am kind of liking. There's also some not so good things. So what I've noticed is that these are some pretty high level players. Let's take on Pedro. The thing I'm noticing is that you don't get money anymore, or you don't get gold, and you don't get food, which sucks for lower level players who use PvP as a way to get more food and gold. So that's unfortunate, and I think the only way you actually get food now, I don't even know if you get gold, I don't remember, but I think the only way to get food is if you actually finish the season, and who knows how long the actual season is going to be. Is it going to be like a month-long season? So there's going to be 12 seasons in a year, or I'm really curious to know how that's going to work. Once the whole actual multiplayer gets spread out to every single player, I guess then we'll find out. For now, we just have to wait and see. I'm hoping they make it to the point where every time you beat someone, you still get gold, you still get food, because then that would be really nice. Wow, he is so powerful. 40,000, 37,000, dang, that's awesome. But anyways, I'm just going to wait some time for some more people to show up, and then we'll get into the Lucifire Nemesis monster mini analysis slash my thoughts on them again, slash I will update you guys on some changes, because they did change some of the skills, not drastically. They added some cooldowns to a certain monster. Oh my gosh, level 130s. They did add some cooldowns specifically to the water monster, the water version. They did make one of the fire monsters attack stronger. I'll get into that in a little bit. Who should I go for here? You don't really have a deny, so let's go for Marco's Land. 120, ooh, level 10, level 5, please don't possess me. Demon Hearts. And you confused, okay, that's, I don't mind that. Oh, ultimate, that's scary. Oh wait, you have all speedruns, it's not that scary. Alright, I am gonna do, okay, I'm kind of scared actually. Let's do Glacial Snowstorm on, doesn't really matter. Let's see, I'm gonna remove negative effects, which is it Fate is Fair? Removes all negative status effects, adds stamina regeneration. Get rid of that possession. You know, one thing I actually found out about, I didn't find out, but I realized it when I was playing on my other account. This monster gets even more incredible every single day I use him. Because if you run Paying the Marshal, which is the single damage evasion skill, when you're possessed, you can attack one of your teammates, and then you can't be immobilized and you can't be hurt for the next turn, which means you're guaranteed a hit on the following turn. So every time I play with Alex Bone, he becomes even more amazing. Man, I swear this monster, he just gets better and better. That's interesting. That's interesting. You attack the middle monster twice, you do more damage. I think that's a glitch going on right now. Interesting. Alright, let's do Piercing Rainfall, and that's game over. Oh, your breeding tree is 50% discount. You should definitely get that. The breeding tree is something you're definitely going to want in order to progress throughout the whole entire game. And if it's 50% off, you're going to save a lot of gems. So be sure to get that. Alright, let's see what it gets. One level 1 stamina rune, and I'm not going to share, although I can get an extra spin. Let's see, 120s, 130s, 130s. VIPs, this isn't looking pretty. Let's refresh that. Another thing I noticed about this new PvP, now everyone is really difficult. I don't know why that is, but everyone is super difficult. 130s, 120s, it's already at 100k. Let's go for... You don't seem that bad. I might lose this one, we'll see. 469, are you faster? Oh, you're slower. I should have brought team speed. And Dartmouth. Oh, Dartmouth is fast too. Mars Punch. Ooh, one hit KO. Final Slash. I don't believe that'll kill me. I am burned though, that doesn't matter. I'm not gonna deny them actually. I am gonna go the different route. I'm gonna go Arctic Boost. And then I'm gonna use my cellmate. I'll probably kill Ledovec. I'll probably damage everyone, and then I'll go with the AoE stun afterwards. Unless AoE stun kills them. Oh, AoE stun almost kills them. But Ledovec will die right here. And Dartmouth died too. Oh, but of course it misses because this game hates me and I always miss. Darn it. Well, at least I have evasion so I can't get hurt. And I can still deny. Alright, I can go with AoE Freeze and that'll kill Vada Magma. Also deal some significant damage on Dartmouth. But just to play it safe, I am going to drain all of Dartmouth's stamina and freeze both of them. And I'll do AoE stun. So I'll use Max Authority. Look at that, Alex bonus, just a survivor. Boom! Oh, that was great. Loading results. Alright, cool. So if anything, the cool thing about this closed beta right now is that it's a really easy way to get gems in one day. I think I got 10 gems yesterday. I'll probably get 10 gems again today. Let me check the league, right? It's silver 1. Yeah, 10 free gems. And then like the food isn't that much. So again, for newer players that'll probably be lower here, they're only going to get 1.5k food. That's not good. Or gold, 7k food. Like, oh, that kind of sucks. I really hope that when you beat someone, you can still get some food and gold from them. Alright, anyways, let's move on to the main purpose of this video, and that's to talk about the Nemesis monster, Lucifire the Lifemelter, Lucifire the Hopefreezer, and Lucifire the Helltaser. So, unlike last time, it has been said that these monsters are actually going to remain fire. So this should be fire, this should be fire, this should be fire. Unlike Hydratilla, hopefully they won't change their element into water or thunder. Like, that makes sense. That's how I thought Hydratilla should have been. Because it makes sense, right? Hydratilla was working with General Thetis, so it's a water monster, and just because it went against General Thetis, and it grabs a different weapon, that doesn't suddenly change its element. It should remain the same element, it should just have different elemental based attacks. That's what I thought the lore of the game was, but apparently they changed it after the release, so I hope they don't do the same. But even if they do, I'll get into that in a little bit. Right now, let's just test each monster. One thing I want to make super clear for everyone watching this video, this monster has a skills group 4. However, the only way to get skills group 4 is to rank up the monster. So, if you want this monster to be as powerful as it can be, you have to buy it with the intention of ranking it up. If you don't rank it up, then you're not gonna have it as powerful as it can be. It even says right there in the description, beware of the ultimate fire wielder, Lucifire. Rank her up to act as an extra set of attacks after level 100. So I don't want anyone to be confused by that. You need to rank her up, because when you test her in battle, if you don't notice, she's actually already 130, which is why she has her different skills, which are Lifemelter Blower, Lucky Fire, and Dartmouth Chapter 9. If you only purchase one of this monster and level her up to 100, you might get lucky and get one of the skills group 4 skills, but you're not going to get all of them, so everyone needs to keep that in mind. And then right here you can test all the different versions. Just keep in mind that all of them are in level 130. Alright, with that being said, let's just get into testing. The first skill we have, what the heck? Get me out of here. Okay, the first skill we have is Lifemelter Slash. This skill deals 40 damage. So, let's just do this on any monster. All this is pet. And there we go, 30k because it is a nature-based monster. Then we have Lifemelter Blow. This skill deals 75 damage and it has a 2-turn cooldown. Alright, this is from skills group 3. So if you level her up to 100, you'll still be able to get the skill. There we go. 28. Wait. Oh, did I do the wrong one? Hold on. Refresh. Refresh. I was wrong. Okay. Lifemelter Blow is from skills group 3. Lifemelter Blow is from skills group 3. This is 75 damage with a 2-turn cooldown. Alright, Lifemelter Slash is the skills group 4 skill, and you'll notice that it has a 3-turn cooldown, but it's 80 damage. Yesterday when I did my analysis, it was different. When I did my analysis, and I made a note about this, that it didn't really make sense why that was the case. Let me pop it up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Yesterday when I did my analysis, skills group 4, it showed up as 75 damage. So it has been changed to 80, so now it actually does make sense why it's skills group 4. It's actually stronger. The cooldown is still the same, it's a 3-turn cooldown. And you're going to see that it is stronger. Slash, it does 30k against all this pet. So there you have it. And then in my opinion, what's an amazing skill, Lucky Fire. It burns, it ignites, it's an AoE. That is phenomenal. I wish they could get a turn in, just so they could die with burning. Well, it didn't land on the generals. I don't know why they put the general in there. This one, burning ignition. I wish they could get a turn in just so they could die with burning and ignition. That way you can see how good it is. But not only that, it also has Darmith Chapter 9, which applies blind and damage reduction, and it also removes good effects if I'm not mistaken. So that is such a crazy good skill. And then as for the ultimate, which has a beautiful, beautiful animation, just check that out. She like surrounds them in a circle of fire, and then she just stabs in the middle. Oh, that is such a crazy ultimate. I love it. Design wise, it is great. It also burns, it ignites, and that is the fire version. Let's move on to the water version, which I guess was the most balanced out. So let me switch over on Wiki real quick. Give me 1 second. Alright, the first skill I'm going to use is Hopefreezer Blow. This is skills group 3, 65 damage, may freeze target 3-turn cooldown. I'll use it against Darmith, and it didn't freeze. So, let me open up the wiki real quick. Hopefreezer Blow, according to this, deals 65 damage, no cooldown, and now it's may freeze. I think yesterday was a 50% chance, or maybe it was always may freeze, but it's 65 damage with a 0-turn cooldown. The skill they gotta change is Hopefreezer Slash. When I did the analysis, and it's still showing up on Wiki as 75 damage, no cooldown, which in my analysis I said was crazy. Why would they give a monster a 75 damage water-based attack with no cooldown? That is insanely strong, especially since you can freeze back to back to back. Well, looking at it in the actual game, Hopefreezer Slash, it actually has a 2-turn cooldown, so it's a lot more balanced than previously. And let me use this right now, Hopefreezer Slash, and it did freeze, awesome. And then the other two skills are the same, Lucky Fire, Darmith Chapter 9, and let's just do the ultimate, which is the exact same as the other one, except it's blue now, which makes sense because it's the water version. So pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, and next we'll look at the Thunder Monster, Helltaser, which I'm still wondering if they're gonna change the name, because all the skills are like Hearthseeker, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, was there any changes to this monster? Let me find out. Give me 1 second, guys. So we'll start with Blow. Hearthseeker Blow deals heavy thunder damage, mace on target, 65 damage, 3-turn cooldown. This didn't change, it's the same. Let me use it on Cabin Fish just for fun. There's Cabin Fish, you got immobilized. The skill that did change, I believe. No, actually nothing changed with this monster, so this monster is still the same. If you look on the wiki, this was Hearthseeker Slash, 75 damage, 2-turn cooldown. And then if we look at the game, it is still 75 damage, 2-turn cooldown. So the only major change was to the water version. That skills group 4, it does have a higher cooldown now. Instead of having no cooldown, it does have a 2-turn cooldown. Sorry. So that's more balanced. And the fire one did get an increase in damage for Lifemelter Slash. So if you're thinking of buying a monster, I don't know if that's going to influence you, but that is a change. So once again, Slash now has a 2-turn cooldown, skills group 4, and for the fire version, Slash has an 80 damage as opposed to 75 damage. Anyways, what I want to say about these monsters is, as of right now, they're supposedly going to remain fire-based. However, if they were to change, in my opinion, regardless of whether or not they stay fire-based or if they change, the best monster you can purchase is Lucifire the Hopefreezer, because she is definitely the most powerful. Against water monsters, against fire monsters, if she remains fire, she's going to be an absolute killer, because we have a fire monster with water attacks. How crazy is that? And not just regular water attacks, but water attacks that deal 65 damage, 75 damage. That is insane. She's easily going to one-hit any single fire monster, no questions asked. So she's so powerful. And even if for some reason they were to change her to water-based, she would still be really good. Because look at her trait. She's immune to freeze. So if they change her to a water monster, she'd be immune to freeze, and then she could still burn and ignite water monsters, she could still make them blind, she could still remove positive effects. Like, without a question, like, regardless of whether or not they change her to water or keep her as fire, she's the best Nemesis monster of these three. Like, hands down, she's the best. As for the other two, I'd probably say Helltaser is the second best. In the water, if she remains fire, well, she's almost as strong as the water version. Obviously, she doesn't have the elemental advantage, but she can still stun if needed to. And as far as the other skills, they both have, what is that skill I absolutely love? The AoE. She still has Lucky Fire, which is just incredible. They all have Sticky Fire on Skills Group 4, and I seriously feel like that's all you need, and they all have Dartmouth Chapter 9. So, she's still a good purchase. She'd probably be my second option. Even if they were to change it to Thunder, then keep in mind that she would still have a stun skill, which could come in handy. You may sometimes just need to immobilize. So, second best purchase, and then I guess the original one would be the third option. If you can just tell by the stats, speed, and life, it's like the most balanced of all. She's still really good. Against fire monsters though, just keep in mind that if she was to do burning, not every single fire monster, a lot of fire monsters I should say, are immune to burning. Ignition, no one's immune to that, so that most likely will always land. And then I do want to address the question, because I am seeing it. How do these monsters, like, a lot of people are saying these monsters are OP. I wouldn't necessarily say that's because with the release of every new monster, you got to keep in mind that there's generals. There's monsters that have hardened. Because those monsters exist with those traits, you can't always rely on a DLT to land. You can't always rely on the blind to land. So there's always gonna exist some sort of balance, right? Like, just think of it this way. Before this monster was released, Shalinar was the go-to fire monster. You could arguably say that Shalinar herself was OP. Shalinar could one-hit any single fire monster, any single non-fire monster. She's that powerful, right? Now, the introduction of this Nemesis monster, if your opponent has it on defense, it doesn't really matter. Its trait is immune to freeze and immune to burn, which means you can always stun this monster. That's fine. You can stun her one turn, and the next turn hit her hard. So she's still able to be immobilized as far as fire monsters, and it's a good thing fire monsters, lots of them have stun skills, right? So that's not really too much of a problem. If this monster is on offense, and you're thinking, now I don't have a chance with defense, well, not necessarily. Like, the thing about defense is, when an opponent attacks you, they always bring their best team to you. Like, did you ever really have a chance? Would be my question to you. If you put your Shalinar on defense, the enemy could just bring a Shalinar on offense and take out your Shalinar in one hit. So, I don't know, that's all I have to say. Like, even though these Nemesis monsters are being released, even though they cost money, I wouldn't necessarily say they're extremely overpowered. They definitely have great stats, they definitely have great skills. I'd be crazy to get up here and say they don't, because they definitely do. But as far as them being overpowered, I don't know, the way I see it, there's always going to exist some sort of balance. If this monster was to be fire, aiming to stun, had an extra turn skill, and then like self boost, extra turn, remove, like, then I could say it's overpowered. But right now, I would say it's extremely powerful. I struggle to say it's overpowered though, so that's just my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm now going to start answering some questions. In the meantime, I'm just going to be testing it out some more because I love that ultimate animation. Lifemelter Unleashed. Yeah, ask me any questions you guys want and I'll do my best to address them. Let's see. Oh, not to mention, you could also possess this monster. Obviously, there's no fire monsters to the best of my knowledge that can possess, but hopefully in the future we do get some monster that can possess. And then if an enemy has this monster on defense, we could just use her against her own teammate. And not to mention, a team wars, in any team battle really, a PvP, it's always 3 against 3. So if you can ever bring someone on your team that has a possession skill and the enemy has a Nemesis monster on defense, just go ahead and use them against him. Hydrotella isn't immune to possession, isn't immune to stun. This Nemesis monster isn't immune to possession, isn't immune to stun. So they're definitely not like overly powered. You know, if anything, you can argue the VIPs having Bulwark, 50% chance to avoid any negative status effects. That's pretty powerful. That makes for an inherently great defense. Just as the generals having Tough, they make for a really great defense. So these Nemesis monsters, they're a little easier to counter. Anyways, let's see. Are these the best fire monsters? They're definitely really good. Like, honestly, you can run them with strength runes. You can run, You can run two speed runes and a strength rune, and they're gonna be killers. Just, I love this skill, Lucky Fire. Like, if you have a deny monster with all speed, and if you have this monster with all speed, if you deny, then run Lucky Fire, and the enemy loses 35% of their HP, then your third monster goes, it can do whatever. I don't even care what it does. It can deny, it can do nothing, it can recharge. And then your deny monster goes, and it can also do whatever. And then you go, and then they go, and then like they lose 35% of their health again. They're probably gonna die. It depends on how much damage you initially deal. Like, it's that crazy. This skill is that crazy. Of course it just needs to land, which is why I recommend pairing this monster up with someone like Incognita that can give her increased damage, double damage actually, and increased accuracy, which means she won't miss. So I don't know. Yeah, they're definitely great. Are they the best? I think arguments can be made. Shalnar was previously the best. Did this monster overtake Shalnar? Maybe, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see what other people say. Let's see. Is it worth it to buy Hopefreezer? Is it worth it? And any question that involves money, I always struggle to answer directly just because it's your money. I don't know how difficult it is for you to attain money. I don't know whether it's as simple as like working 2 or 3 hours at a job or asking your parents. So as far as the monster's worth it, I think the best I can do is do these videos, give you guys my opinions on them. I have the analysis, you can listen to that, and then you have to decide for yourself whether or not it's worth it. Let's see. How much Elementium do I have? I probably have a lot. Let me check right now. Is this monster a Voltic killer? I would say definitely. It could definitely be a Voltic killer. If this monster ever faces Voltic with just one strength rune, like, if you did Lifemelter Slash, this is a 130 versus a 130, right? Yeah, 130, 130. Lifemelter Slash, for example, does 30,000 damage, so against a regular monster, it would deal 15,000 damage. So that's pretty powerful. But looking at Lucky Fire, this would deal around 17, 18, let's say 9,000. It would deal 9,000, and then it has the chance to apply Burn and Ignition. Now, the problem against taking on a Voltic is that it does have Hardened, so you may get extremely unlucky, and Ignition may not land, Burning may not land. However, if you run the monster with Strength runes, and you make it strong enough to one-hit Voltic, then, I mean, it would obviously counter Voltic, and then there is that chance that Burning or Ignition might land. One of them most likely will land. So I would say it is a pretty good counter to Voltic. It's not a 100% counter unless you can one-hit him, but it is a pretty good counter. Let me take a look at my Elementium. And since I'm on the topic of Elementium, I do want to mention again, I mentioned this in the analysis, yeah, I have 630. If you ever plan to purchase a VIP monster or a Nemesis monster, you better save your Elementium. Do not use Elementium for ranking up monsters, and do not use Elementium for creating a monster. I think my craft is busy. Because just think about this. Nemesis monsters and VIP monsters, they cost real money. Other monsters, you can get cells with trading, or you can get cells by purchasing them in the cell shop. Right? They always sell cells here. You should especially purchase them when there's like a two for one event. So you never want to waste Elementium on regular monsters. You only want to use Elementium on VIP monsters and Nemesis monsters because that's how you save money. If I'm not mistaken, you need 560 cells in order to go to rank 3. I have 630, which means if I bought a Nemesis monster today, I wouldn't have to spend $40, 20 bucks. I need 4 of her. 20 times 4. What is that, 80? Or let's say $30, right? Let's say I bought the Hopefreezer. I would have to spend $120, right? That's what everyone is saying. That's what I'm seeing a lot. The problem with Nemesis monster is you need to purchase multiple to rank her up. Well, because I was smart about this and I saved my Elementium, all I have to do is buy one Lucifire, and I could get her to rank 3 because of all my Elementium. So I could spend 30 bucks and get her to rank 3, whereas other people have to purchase 4 of her, spend 120. So if you ever plan to purchase a Nemesis monster or a VIP monster, save your Elementium. You get your best value when you use them on a monster that costs real money. It's that simple. Never ever use Elementium for regular monsters. Their cells can easily be acquired throughout just playing the game for free, through gems, through trading. So only monsters that cost money, that's when you should use Elementium. I need to stress that point so much because I really don't like that argument that Nemesis monsters, you need to spend a lot of money. Yes, that's true. If you want to do it right now immediately, you would have to. But if you play the game smart and if you save your Elementium, you wouldn't have to spend that much. I'm telling you right now, I can get a 115 for 30 bucks. That's pretty good, I think. All right, and I think you only need to, you honestly only need to get this monster to level 110 to get all of the skills group 4 skills, maybe to 115. So it's not impossible by any means. As far as why does she cost more money in your country, that I really can't answer. You would have to ask Social Point that. I imagine it just has to do with the way the currency is set up. Depending where your country is, maybe $1 here in the United States is worth less in your country, which is why it's 50 in your country, unless you already did the exchange rate to US money, so that I can't answer. And then let's go back to testing. This monster's so cool. Look at that ultimate. Helltaser unleashed. Alright. I feel like I need to make a separate video about pay to win. Because one thing I noticed with the release of Nemesis monsters, and it also happened with VIP monsters, there's always this argument of this game is becoming more pay to win. And I have to ask, like, was this, I don't know how to say this live without stumbling so much. I feel like this is a video that I could make like a long video on a separate day. The thing about pay to win, why is this game suddenly becoming pay to win right now that a Nemesis monster got released? Because you could technically make the argument that pay to win happened when runes were released. Because if everyone was free to play, right? And suddenly they introduced runes, where all of a sudden you can get a level 10 rune that boosts your monster stats, power for example by 35%, life by 108%, speed by 35%, actually powers 102%, right? Whereas a free to play can only get like level 5 runes, which doesn't do nearly as much as that. So if two people were playing, one was free to play, the other was free to play, suddenly they introduced runes. Suddenly, the one that's willing to pay for gems to get those runes, suddenly their monsters are extremely buffed thanks to the runes. Wasn't it already like pay to win there? For example, like these introduction of Nemesis monsters, I don't think they really change anything. The fact that we have runes, that's what is like a major threat. The fact that we have rank ups, the fact that it's not possible for you to have level 100 monsters, whereas your opponent has level 130s, that's an unfair advantage. The fact that not only are they 130, they have level 10 runes, that's a huge unfair advantage. I don't really see why the introduction of Nemesis monsters makes it any more pay to win. Like I don't understand why I keep seeing that comment, like it's pay to win now, it's becoming more pay to win, it's becoming more pay to win. Like I said, these monsters aren't extremely overpowered, there's still a balance that exists. Monsters have hardened, monsters have tough. These Nemesis monsters, they can still be possessed, they can still be stunned. They're not impossible to destroy. That's all I have to say about that. Again, I can probably make a separate video, and one of these days I probably will, because that's an argument I see so much that I don't necessarily agree with myself, and I don't want to keep relaying that message as if it's true. At the end of the day, guys, just keep in mind, it's a game. The point of a game should be for you to get enjoyment out of it. I've been playing this game for 3 years now, 4 years now, and I still love it. I play it every single day. I can't say that about other games. I used to play console games, and I don't even touch any consoles anymore. But at the end of the day, you just have to get enjoyment. If you really think this game is pay to win, if you really hate this game, I just have to ask, why are you playing it? Just stop playing it. It's that easy. It's that easy. That's my opinion. If you disagree with me, you're totally able to do so, but that's just my opinion on that. Let me activate this. I gotta try to get my monster soon. Oh, look at that, a Lamu. Awesome. I feel like I messed this up. I thought I was hatching this monster, and it turns out I wasn't hatching her. So now I gotta wait 18 hours. And I don't want to speed up, but I actually might, just so I can get a better chance for getting Petroloa. So we'll have to wait and see. Hydrotilla is OP. Hydrotilla. That one, I would say Hydrotilla could have been OP if they would have kept Hydrotilla as water-based. I think they messed up when they made Hydrotilla Earth and Thunder. Not Earth and Thunder, Earth and Thunder? If they would have kept Hydrotilla water, then I think I would have been on your guys' side and say he was OP. Because Hydrotilla has super attuned, and Hydrotilla was supposed to counter General Thetis. The problem is, if you bring your Earth-based Hydrotilla versus General Thetis, guess what? Stamina Devours is going to drain out your stamina. It's like, what was the point of having super attuned if you can't counter General Thetis anymore? At least not with that. So I think they kind of messed up on making Hydrotilla different elements. If they would have kept Hydrotilla water, I would definitely agree it'd be like one of the most amazing monsters of the whole entire game. So look at this. We have the Icebringer. Icebringer's water-based. It's still a good counter to Thetis, but it was that Earth one that was really incredible. We have the Boltcaster. They made it thunder-based. And then we have the Riftmaker. This one has an AoE stun, AoE freeze. Like, this one was incredible. But they made it Earth-based, so it can't counter General Thetis anymore. Because Super Attuned won't work. It doesn't make sense why they did that. They should have kept this monster as water. But, I mean, it is what it is. I would say now that the water one is probably the better one. I think, just because it can directly counter Stamina Devours. But also one thing that happened was that they buffed stamina regeneration to the point where you get 30% of your stamina back, which means if you can go before General Thetis and you do a team stamina regeneration skill, it doesn't matter if General Thetis does Stamina Devours. Your monsters can recover enough stamina to do an attack. You can possibly deny all of the enemy team. The enemy Thetis has no stamina, which means on the next turn it has to recharge before it can even attack. I'd say they severely weaken General Thetis. Not to mention, to get in the team shop now, she's like 2.5k coins. So General Thetis isn't as big as a threat as she used to be. And yeah, I think that's it. Do you guys have any more questions? Do you guys have any more questions? My favorite monster will forever be Kai the Eradicator. I absolutely love that VIP monster. I doubt they're going to release any monster that has an even better design than him, but he's just absolutely amazing. He's also quite powerful too. Best moves on Ingvar's Bodyguard. I do have a video on that. Thank you, Woof. You can just check out my level 1 to 100 video for Ingvar's Bodyguard. I feel like, how close am I to getting Lamu? Let me check. Vault. Lamu, right now I have 582 cells. I wonder how many more Lamus I have. I'm scared to rank up my Lamu all the way just because I don't want dungeons to scale to 130 and then have her be my only 130 monster, because then I'm going to have a difficult time with dungeons and I hate doing dungeons. I'm not going to be buying any of the Nemesis monsters, and that's just because I'm going to wait till every Nemesis monster is going to be released, which is probably going to take, what, like 7 more months, assuming they release one Nemesis monster every single time, every single month. So I'm just going to wait. One of my slight regrets was buying Scar the Outcast. Like, he's a pretty good monster, but had I known Kai the Eradicator would come out, I would have preferred to purchase him, and I don't want the same thing to happen. Right now, Hydrotella's amazing, Lucifire's amazing, but I'm really curious to see what the other Nemesis monsters are going to be like, especially like the General Nishan Nemesis. I wonder what that's going to be like. The General Ingvar Nemesis, the Tombs Nemesis, I'm assuming it's going to be like remove shields, removes positive effects, AoE Mega Stun, maybe. Like, I'm really curious to know what these new Nemesis monsters are going to have. So for now, I'm just going to wait. I play this game for fun. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to wait. How many birthday tickets do I have? I feel like I have over 1,000 by now. Let me check it out. Go to messages. Nope. Go to storage. 1,287 items in storage. Oh man. Let's see if I can find them fast. I have statues. I have 85 lottery. I have 810 birthday tickets. And I think I have more over here. Oh, maybe I don't. I think it's only 810. Oh, I think on my other account, I think I have 1,000. Because I play on 2 accounts. I have like a main account and then a baby account. And I always mix up what I have on each. So I guess I have 810 right now. And then I think on my little one I have 1,000. But there's still like what? There's still a few more days in June, so it's definitely possible to get 1,000. I think a lot of people were able to get 1,000 thanks to the 72-hour challenge. On this account, I was only able to get up to round 1. On my other account, I got up to round 3. So that's why the other account is doing way better right now. And yeah, let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Let me just do dungeons while I'm answering questions. Oh, by the way, for those of you that haven't noticed, there is a Dungeon of Bucks, which means free gems, and there is a food dungeon, which means free maze coins. Make sure to get those maze coins. By the way, information is finally out on the wiki. If you want to find out what pathway to get a certain monster, if you want to find out how many coins it's going to cost, the information is out on the wiki. Does anyone have malaria? Malaria, his secret pathway actually just ran out, I believe, yesterday. So if you missed it, I don't think it's possible to get him anymore. Because I don't think they've ever done 2 secret pathways. The best epic monster to rank up, I would say, would have to be Nautilus 1. And that's only because he has a bug where he gets 3 extra turns. However, who knows when they're actually going to remove that bug. They said they were going to remove it, but they haven't actually done so. But as of right now, as of the time you asked the question, Nautilus 1 would probably be the best. And then next up would be Ophiuchus probably. Once the Nautilus bug is gone, probably it's going to be Ophiuchus, is like the go-to rank up epic monster. But as far as like who you can theoretically rank up because it's breedable, Ledovic is your go-to monster. You can breed him with Galante and some other monster. Should you buy Galante or a rank 1 legendary? You should only buy monsters if they cost 249 gems. So that's my answer to that. Let me keep on playing. Man, I actually ended up loving Alex Bone way more than I thought I would. That evasion skill is insane. I can't wait till they fix it on High Mass, because then I'm gonna love using them too. Do I think Lord Multi should be buffed? I'm a little unsure when it comes to buffing old monsters, just because if you buff old monsters to the point where they're now competitive, you can make the argument that the new monsters should be even more buffed, otherwise there's no incentive to get new monsters if the old monsters are just as strong. So I personally believe you should leave monsters alone, otherwise it's this never-ending chain of, hey, why did you buff that monster but not this monster? You should buff this monster, and then they buff that monster, and then people complain and another monster needs to be buffed, and then another monster needs to be buffed, and then over and over and over again, every single monster is going to need to be buffed to the point where it's like, it's back to normal. That's my personal opinion on that. Is Kai the Eradicator better or Frostbite? Those two monsters are entirely different sets. It's like apples and oranges. Frostbite is a deny monster, he's there to immobilize the enemy, whereas Kai the Eradicator is an attacker, he's there to kill the enemy. And Kai is also a really good defense monster, whereas Frostbite is not. Frostbite is one of the worst monsters you can put on defense. Give me 1 second, guys. Where's my water? Alright, does anyone have any questions concerning the Nemesis monsters or anything else of that nature? How do you get 5 stamina? In order to get 5 stamina, you need to go to Facebook and play on the Facebook version of Monster Legends. Right there's a thing called the airship, where you can buy 2 more attacks. So I think originally you only have 3 stamina. You can buy 4 and 5. I think it's going to cost you a total of 75 gems. Is the Keeper worth getting? It's a free monster. Like, I think any free monster is worth getting, especially when they have the trait Bulwark. 50% chance to not be immobilized. That is extremely good. And I don't remember his skills off the top of my head, but I remember that he could pack quite a punch. I think he had like a 60 damage special based or something. And then he had a mirror skill, so I think as a defensive magic monster, he can be pretty good. I'm surprised that Keeper isn't in more books. He's the Keeper of the library, but I don't think he's in any book, the more I think about it. How come there are 3 different types of Nemesis? So the way Nemesis monsters came to be, the lore of them, is like they in some way, shape, or form, they went against the general monsters, and then they came back stronger than ever, except they have different weapons. So each weapons makes them have different attacks. So for example, if it's the Fire Nemesis monster, it has fire-based attacks. But if it picks up a water weapon, it has water-based attacks, and if it picks up a thunder weapon, it has thunder-based attacks. You know the original Nemesis monster has less armor than the other ones? Does it really? I think it does, huh? The original, it sucks that the original Nemesis monster, it looks so plain, right? Like, this is a fire-based monster. They could have made flame wings. They could have done a flame staff, like the water one. The water one, oh yeah, it has crazy cool armor. What the heck? Why? They could have, like, see this blue flame on the staff on the wings? They could have done it to the fire one, and it could have been really epic looking. Just like the thunder one. And given it cool armor. But they just make it so plain looking. That sucks. It is $10 receivers though, so I guess there's that. You're also paying for aesthetics. Is Petroloa good? I would say it's a pretty good monster. Not to mention it's a breedable monster, so if you get lucky and you do happen to hatch a Petroloa, maybe one or two of him, you can potentially rank him up and he can be a really good attacker. He's pretty good. I have an analysis coming out soon. Any tips for someone who's level 27? I'd say at that level, just continue to panic and gold farm. Watch my episode series, and I think there I pretty much teach you all you need to know. But at that low level, your main objective should be just to get a lot of gold, so just continue to panic and gold farm. No, you can't change. You know, that's what I originally thought it was going to happen. I originally thought that these VIP monsters were going to be monsters that you could maybe pay gems to change the weapon, right? That would be so cool. Imagine you buy Lucifire the Lifemelter for 20 bucks, and then you can pay X amount of gems to trade her weapon for a particular war. But I think in that case, then it would be extremely overpowered. So you can't change the weapons, unfortunately. If you want the water version, you have to buy the water version. If you want the thunder version, you have to buy the thunder version. Which means if you want all three, you have to dish out 80 bucks. Page. Let's see. Is Greedy Dragon good armor? Can people answer that? Is Greedy Dragon good? Greedy Dragon is, in my opinion, one of the best fire monsters. Definitely top 3 material. Up there with, like, in terms of attacker, she's not. Greedy Dragon would not be as good as Shalnar. But in terms of an attacker, Greedy Dragon is a second close thing to Shalnar. Incredibly good monster. Not to mention, in terms of value, I'd say Greedy Dragon is better than Shalnar. Because Shalnar is only the female book and she's a fire monster. Greedy Dragon, on the other hand, he's in the dragon book, he's in the underworld book or the undead book. He's a fire monster. Let me actually check. I don't want to give you guys wrong information. Greedy Dragon, he's the most valuable right now. He's in 3 books. I know that for sure. Greedy Dragon is in 3 books and he's a fire monster, so he can be used in 4 different types of war. Whereas Shalnar, even though she's so powerful, she's only a female and a fire, so she can only be used in 2 types of war. So the best value right now is Greedy Dragon. Let me go to Elements, Fire, go to Legendary. Greedy Dragon, he's still in my storage. I really need to hatch him. I would have loved to hatch him because he is in the. We currently have a 3 Fire War right now. Let me see. He's in Dragon. He's in Winged. And he is in, what is this? What is this little bat? Is this Undead or Underworld? Underworld. He's in Underworld, he's in Wing, he's in Dragon, and he's Fire. He's the best value right now. Okay, I think with that being said, I'm going to conclude the stream. It went on longer than I wanted it to be. I just wanted to do a quick Nemesis analysis video, even though I already have an analysis video. But basically, that's it. If you're just joining the stream right now, just watch the beginning of the video. That's when I talked about the Nemesis monsters. And yeah, that's going to be it. I am curious to know how many of you are actually thinking of buying a Nemesis monster. If anyone is trying to put you down about buying a Nemesis monster, about wasting money on the game, my advice to you is just do whatever you like, do what makes you happy. If you love playing this game, if you really enjoy this game, and spending 20 bucks, 30 bucks here is going to make you even more happy, go ahead and do it. At the end of the day, this is your hobby. It's something you enjoy doing. Don't let anyone stop you from spending money if that's what you want to do. With that being said, I'm Armor Gaming. Good luck to everyone on your Monster Legends adventures. And like always, remember to dream big and pursue your passions.